All right. Hello, friends. Here is our quick weekly metrics review team. Our agenda, if you've come before, if you're a repeat customer, our agenda is the same. We'll review the metrics, talk for a second on the vaccine drive, and then get Katie Plum actually has an important update today that I'm looking forward to hearing from. So with that, let's jump into our metric update. So you can see our numbers actually are continuing to decline. So real encouraging here. If you look in the last 3 weeks, 130 down to 78, down to 60. So that's a real positive trend. And the test positivity rate continues to go down as well. These numbers are hot off the press. So you can see our biweekly data, like we said, it's dropping down to 60. The number of students quarantined is 76. So that's dropped down from 99 the prior 2-week session. We've climbed slightly on our positive students from 9 to 14. And our teacher quarantine rate is went from 7 to 8 for that biweekly total. And when I say teacher, I mean our staff quarantine rate. And within that 8, I can tell you there are 5 positive COVID cases among staff. So 5 cases, 3 staff that aren't positive that are quarantined. I'm looking at my nurses. Did I say that right? Okay. Katie Plum, are you ready? I've got your thing I can project.
You do. Awesome.
All right, I'm going to project it while Jason gets you a microphone.
Thank you. Okay, so generally, the trend really mimics the school data that we just projected. So we are continuing to see case counts decrease countywide, which is great and exciting. Vaccine is continuing to roll out countywide. We're in the middle of a clinic.
Oh, you got littles.
Right now. And so we'll do clinics every Tuesday at the fairgrounds, and that is cruising right along. We have our vaccine drive. Was that on the agenda for updates just after this?
I have a quick update on that.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll pause on that. And I want to give an update. We've been getting lots of questions around county risk levels and how that compares to education risk levels, because they are slightly different. And also our athletics, right, are tied to county risk levels, not ODE guidance. So I wanted to do just a quick explanation of that because there's been a lot of confusion around it. So this top chart is for Crook County specifically. So for counties of our size, in order for us to be out of the extreme risk level category, we need to be under 60 cases over the course of 2 weeks and under 10% test positivity. So those are the metrics that, because we've been in extreme for a long time. So that's the benchmark right now that we're looking at getting under in order to change our status. And so currently today, they released the metrics for the previous 2 weeks, and that 2-week time frame is highlighted in pink. So the 24th through the 6th is the time frame that they just released that is going to set the risk level for the county for the next 2 weeks. And where we're at is in that pink box down here. We are at 60 cases over 2 weeks.
Are you telling me we missed it by 1?
We missed it by 1 case.
Oh.
Our test positivity is under 10. So what that means is we remain in the extreme risk category. Through this, so we will transition, even though we're not transitioning, so we're staying in extreme risk. That kicks in on Friday, and we'll stay for 2 weeks from Friday. So then through the 25th, the end of the 25th, we will be in extreme risk. So coming up next is our next review date is February 23rd, where we will look at our next data set. And that next data set is February 7th through February 20th. So we will look at those case counts, see if we are under those 60 cases in that time frame. And if we are, we would be able to move on the 26th into a new risk category. Yeah.
Let's do this. Sorry. Can you, just for the recording, can you?
Oh, yes. The question was I guess the point of the test positivity rate, because right now our test positivity rate is 7.2, putting us in the moderate, but we just missed the boat with the actual number of cases. So yeah, that's it.
So it's the whole, it's the concept of never relying only on one data point. And so making sure that we get the whole picture of what the virus is doing in the community. So they're looking at both of those data points and they always default to the higher metric, which I think is similar to, or the same as what we do with the education metrics, is we default to whichever one has the highest, is associated with the highest risk. And we just happen to be like, we've been here before where we are right on the edge. We can't apparently just be one or the other. We're gonna be right on the line for a spell, and that's so frustrating. But that hopefully explains what they pulled the information, where we're pulling the information from, what the timeframes are, and where we're looking at going for the next determination of risk.
And Rob Bonner just
I know.
He cares so
Rob,
much about
you
this.
get one-on-one time with me just after this. Okay.
That's how much we care about you, Rob. Thank you, Katie.
Yes.
We know we had on our fireside chat, we had some people asking this,
yeah.
and obviously my dear friend Rob Bonner has been asking about this. So really appreciate you digging in and getting that answered.
Okay.
The last update on the vaccine drive is we're still good to go. A few people that didn't participate in the first vaccine drive, where they'd gone to the health department before we did our January 25th drive, are asking, can they participate in the February 26th drive? And the answer is yes. Just shoot me an email. A number of people already have. We'll make sure you're on that list and ready to go for February 26th. Outside of that, I usually turn it over to our fantastic school nurses. Of course.
So that means then that they need to get another vaccine in 28 days.
No, so these are people that went early to the health department.
Oh,
so
okay.
They've gotten the first
so these
dose.
aren't people that this is going to be dose one.
Nope, this is just for those two.
Okay.
The people are those that went early. But the good news is the gracious health department has said they can join us for the second dose. But I want to get that to Katie Plum because she might correct me.
Yeah, if no correction needed, but if there are still people who want their first dose, they can still do that. I would recommend that they go through our online system to get their Tuesdays. If they want their first dose on the 26th, I would still email you and just let me know.
Okay.
And then we
That's
can
new news.
And then we can coordinate getting their second dose at one of the other clinics.
Okay, cool. So you heard it here first. If you want your first dose and you want to do it at the vaccine drive where we're doing the second dose, just email me and be very specific. I still need my first dose, and we'll make sure we take care of you. School nurses, anything we need to be especially keeping an eye on? Yeah. That was something super encouraging. I was talking to Megan earlier where
You want to repeat, Joel, what they said?
they were saying, make sure to keep your spacing because that helps with the quarantine numbers. So even with staff that we've had to quarantine, on a positive note, we're not having to quarantine mass amounts of staff because people are keeping their space, wearing their masks. So that's been really helpful. All right. With that, it's 4:11. We might get in pretty close to record timing. Any other questions or anything from fans? Anyone? Anything from our people online?
I do want to ask people that are here, what's the most
And the nurses are out of this building, or you guys out of this building? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Well, is there a more convenient location for you? Because obviously other people are.
We could just go, I think we could go, I think we moved it here because of the spacing thing, but I think we could go straight Zoom if we're mainly just recording it. And that way people can just be wherever they want.
Yeah, so I think I would be okay with that. I don't know. It was designed to
Here, let me give you this.
Yeah, it was designed to give people an opportunity to be face to face with people, but obviously that's not what they want. So we could just Zoom it, and then it's way easier for everybody.
Well, it's still recorded.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
staff can have access. So can I ask a question?
Of course.
That it's about sports.
Actually, it's not. I had this question and Katie answered it for me, but I thought maybe people at home would have the same question. So I'm going to ask it out loud. We missed high versus extreme danger. I don't know. Our risk, extreme risk. Thank you. By one case, our test positivity is where it needs to be. If we'd have been at 59 cases, we'd have slipped down risk into high. And in layman's terms, what did that cost us in terms of businesses and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I can pull up the details and share those out. They're on Oregon Health Authority's website too, but I think the biggest thing that people are paying attention to is it affects restaurants being open at a certain capacity. So when we move from extreme to high, restaurants are able to open to in-person at 25% capacity, which is certainly a big deal. And as we move into continued lower risk categories, restaurants and other businesses can open at greater capacity for in-person. Yeah, Joel's pulling that up for us. So it definitely impacts our business community being able to drop into lower risk categories. And it is somewhat related to our athletics, right? Because being in a lower risk category for our county metrics does allow us to open up our athletics more as well.
We can't just fake it and go 1 point under.
Well, that's why I was saying we've done this several times where we are right on the line, and then we have this like, well, do we petition? Do we negotiate? Like,
do we bribe?
No, this is not my my framework, right? It was a light week. Yeah. There definitely a downside. Super Bowl was chill.
It is good, if you look, I think a fear of ours was, or a concern or something really watching was, okay, when we bring back people full-time, everyone, is that going to raise county metrics? And our county metrics, since we've opened schools, have gone from 130 down to 60. So they've already cut in half. So that's definitely a good sign. Just to end on a positive note, not. So thank you, everyone. We'll plan going full Zoom next week, and we'll just go from there. Any other questions? People online, any questions? All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.